Hello, this is Adam with Cleverbot Cards, and we're going to talk about Pro Tour Eldritch Moon Top 5 Brews. First up is Delirium by Joel Larson. He went 8-1 in Constructed, and he's got a pretty interesting list here. Starts with Distended Mindbender, Imrakul, and Ishkana. Interesting choice with Mindrack Demon. Not sure if that is really playable right now. It runs very similar to the other red-green ramp decks and Temur Emerge decks that we saw. You can play Pilgrim's Eye and then sack it and emerge your other Eldrazi into play. It also runs the Grapple with the Past and Kozilek's Return package, and there's also Vessel of Nascency. So you dredge cards into your graveyard, hopefully get Kozilek's Return in your graveyard, then play an Eldrazi and get it back, dealing 5 damage to everybody. I ran Kozilek's Return prior to Eldritch Moon, and it was a really sweet card then. It's really powerful now too, if not better, so that's pretty cool tech. And he also runs Languish, so there's 6 board wipe effects. Then you have Traverse the Uvenwald, which if you get Delirium lets you go through and get any creature you need. In the sideboard, he's got another Imrakul, another Languish, and 3 Nahiri's Wrath, which can act as board wipes, especially if you're discarding like Ishkana or Distended Mindbender. That's a lot of damage. And you can also discard land cards to get additional targets. There's just some other removal and disruption in the sideboard. Pretty standard issue. Next is Mono Red Eldrazi by Antonio del Moral Leon. He went 7-3 in Constructed. And he's running 4 Hedron Crawlers, 4 Matter Reshaper, 4 Oblivion Sower, 2 Ruin Processor, and 4 Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. This runs similar to the way a ramp deck would run. You get Archive and Crawler out there, and then ramp into an early Oblivion Sower, which can get you more lands, and then play Ulamog and close the game out. It also runs some interesting colorless spells, Special Contortion, Titan's Presence, and Warping Well. And in the sideboard, there's another Imrakul, another Kozilek's Return, and Kozilek himself, the Great Distortion. Really cool spell. It gives you the ability to have counter spells, and you're just running red. So that's something your opponent might not be able to deal with or expect. You can also go with Reality Smasher and Thought-Knot Seer. Keep it a little lower to the ground and go for the quick win. This is one of the decks that I was considering playing, and I'll probably test it just to see. Next one is Naya Legendary by Nick Ball, and he was 7-2. Now this, it just runs a lot of one-ofs. It's a toolbox type kit, something we're familiar with Naya decks. So the idea here is you just play out your Advocates turn 2, Tracker turn 3, curve into a Lancer, and then you get the appropriate legend for whatever the situation is. So, for example, you could grab an Avacyn if you're afraid that they're going to Kozilek's Return you, or if you need to be able to swing the tides of battle. And then you also have the Bruna the Fading Light and Gisela the Broken Blade combo to get Brisella the crazy meld creature. That card is pretty cool. It's really intimidating whenever you flip it because it's gigantic. It makes people's hands look tiny for some reason on camera. So it's got some good things going for it. Alright, in the sideboard, he can bring in a 1 of Imrakul if he needs to go even further later into the game, and also has a Nahiri main deck and 2 in the sideboard, so you can bring in a Nahiri Imrakul package and cheat that Imrakul into play. There's also some Gideon option there, and other typical spells you'd see: Hallowed Moonlight, Quarantine Field, Radiant Flames, Renning Volley. Those all seem pretty self-explanatory. I like the main deck Tragic Arrogance. That card seems sweet in the meta, especially if you end up going against just any deck that tries to go wide with anything, any type of permanent. Pretty cool tech. Want to try this out. Alright, so one of my favorite decks, one of the best brews that I saw, was the Blue-Red Thermo thing by Pedro Carvalho, and he went 9-1. Now this is a really nice list, just super aggressive. It has Thing and Ice main. I don't even know if that's necessary. You could probably just go blue-red with burn spells. maybe even more burn spells. Anyways, though, he's got the 4 Collective Defiance. That card is broken if you can pay all the modes. It's a sweet pool in limited formats, and if you can get all the modes, it's good in any format. It also runs a 4 of Fevered Visions. That card is pretty brutal against any deck that's holding cards in their hand for an extended period of time and forces them to make a play, sort of force the issue. It also gets to run Wandering Fumarole, which the man lands, you always want man lands. If you can run them, they're good, even if it's a 1-of. But this one gets to play a full playset because it needs both red and blue mana pretty evenly. You also see it has full package of Burn with Fiery Impulse, Fiery Temper, and an Incendiary Flow, and Lightning Axe. In the sideboard, we see there's Gold Knight Castigator. That could be good just as a surprise sideboard option. If the board's getting clogged on the ground, you can bring that in, go over the top. Nahiri's Wrath is also really sweet. You just have to sack or discard. You could discard like a Fiery Temper and, let's say, Collective Defiance or even a Fevered Visions if it's not necessary. Ended up doing easily 5, 6, 7 damage to several targets, and you can also pitch a land to it to get additional targets. So, for example, if you discard a Collective Defiance, Fiery Temper, an island, and a mountain, you can target 4 things with 6 damage, and then you also get to pay the Madness on Fiery Temper and do another 3 damage. They can just do a lot of damage out of nowhere. This deck seems really promising, and it's the deck that if I go back to red, this is probably what I would run. I really want to try the Temur Emerge first, though, but this is on the list. It's in the top 3 of decks that I want to play. Alright, and the last one is Blue-Black Zombies, and this was by Andre Strasky, I believe is how you say that. He went 7-2 in Constructed, and it uses a really sweet combo. This is pretty good. Haunted Dead plus Prized Amalgam. So you discard or dredge Haunted Dead. You get Haunted Dead into your graveyard through various means. Then you activate its ability to discard 2 cards, discard hopefully 2 Prized Amalgams, bring Haunted Dead back to play, get your Spirit token off of it, and then it also triggers and you get both back. You get back both Prized Amalgams. So really good tempo swing, solid play there. In the spell section, we have Collective Brutality, Dark Salvation, Grasp of Darkness, and Ruinous Path. That's a pretty standard removal package with Grasp and Ruinous Path. Those are pretty standard issue. But the new additions I like, Dark Salvation, that is a nice tempo swing where you can reduce your opponent's board and build your board up all in one card. That's usually a sign of a good card. So I like that. In the sideboard, he has Distended Mindbender and Dragonlord Silumgar. Dragonlord Silumgar is still very relevant, along with Kalitas, obviously, and Liliana. He can go up another Liliana. And there's a little bit more disruption with Duress and Transgress, but Distended Mindbender, of course, is disruption. So yeah, this one was supposed to be able to beat Bant Company. They've got Voldaren Pariah main deck to just take out a bunch of creatures and counteract their Collected Company. I don't think it worked out as well as people intended that piloted it. Not entirely sure. It didn't get a whole lot of camera time. And I don't think there were any matches where it was Zombies versus Bant Company. I could be wrong, though. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, though, this one I was really excited about, but now maybe not so much. I don't know if right now is the time. But post-rotation, I think it'll be a really good choice. It'll be a top choice to go to. Alright, so that was the top 5 brews from the Pro Tour. Excited to see what people do with it after. Alright, stay tuned, and we'll the next video we're going to be talking about the top 10 cards from the Pro Tour. Now it'll be not just the most impactful or coolest, it's kind of a combination of everything, like my favorite 10 cards from the tournament. Alright, see you next video.